Hello there, my warm, cozy koala bears. How you doing? We've got the mastery mode, but we're moving up in difficulty all the way up to hard. So what does this mean? This means we have some changes. So instead of just doing, trying to do naps, we did naps through pretty much all of medium, and we obviously on easies. They weren't that bad. But on hard mode, we could try to do naps, but it would be so ridiculously hard. So we're just gonna kind of move up in here and start using these specialty buildings, but I'm going to use them in a special way. I want to do a different specialty building on every single map and test out which one I think is the best. Now obviously it does depend a little bit on the map, but overall we're going to hopefully decide which specialty building we're going to use for impossible mode, because obviously that's the main point here, guys. We want to make sure we know how to beat impossible. Every single map, not just beginner, but intermediate, and moving on to those harder maps, we gotta try and do different things. So anyways, today we have the engineer specialty building. So if you don't know what specialty buildings are, they're basically that little building you can build right at the very beginning on like the opening screen. You can build a specialty building for any tower except for farms, I believe. Farms or monkey villages. There's no specialty buildings for either of those, though I think there should be specialty buildings. Definitely for the farms, maybe not for the monkey village, but yeah, you know what you're gonna do. But basically what they do is they have 4 different levels, and we're going to be testing out the max level of every single one of these specialty buildings. The first level just makes them, I believe, cheaper. The second level makes them usually some stronger in some way, usually attack speed. And then the third level is usually something kind of different and odd. And the fourth level is usually something kind of crazy, and usually crazy awesome. And I can't give you specifics about every single one because, like I said, they're all honestly different. So what is the difference between hard mode and medium mode? Late game? Not that much overall. I mean, we're just kind of chugging through the late game pretty darn easily. But the early game is more difficult. Everything is more expensive, and that means even building farms is more expensive, and getting those bananas flowing is harder to do. So obviously we're going to have some hard times on hard mode. Not every single one of these videos is going to be, or every single one of these maps is going to be really that easy overall. So we got our 5 farms going already. As you can tell, I've kind of switched over from the 4 farm thing into trying to do 5 farms in most situations, and it seems like it works out most of the time. And even on round 32, holy crap, we have 1 blue gunner and 1 engineer and a little spike factory in the back. But that's all we have for our defense up to round 33. Oh my god. And we have 2 third-tier farms already. So definitely keeping the engineer, or the engineer so far, awesome. He also, by the way, pops leads, and he pops frozen balloons. So not only does he shoot faster, make the engineers supposedly stronger and last longer and everything, he does just overall a ton of popping power. Though the only thing that I'm kind of confused about is normally a 1-0 engineer, which I have a 1-0 engineer right now. Normally this guy just has 2 to 3 engineers all the time. But now I'm noticing that it's still only 2 to 3 engineers all the time. So if they're lasting even longer, are they really lasting any longer? Maybe the specialty building has like a certain built-in speed at which they'll actually like refresh and all that stuff. But with all these coins, it ends up being kind of silly. I don't know. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. I have no idea what honestly is going on. But we need to talk about it. Every single day we should talk about this stuff. So round 37, not a big deal. But once we work on to round 38, that's where it gets a lot more crazy. These reroll blacks are always super duper painful for me. It's very hard for me to pop these guys. So I have been using a lot of road spikes, by the way. This is my first time playing hard, so we're going to have to test things out and see how things work out a little bit differently. We know what comes out in mastery mode, but we don't know how to stop it on each one of these levels. It's kind of difficult to understand, and plus we're trying to farm as much as possible while keeping our defense to a minimum. So anyways, we went for something absolutely crazy right here. We sold everything and went for a 4-0 helicopter. So this was kind of a weird strategy that I was kind of testing out a little bit, guys. Because the engineer, even though, yes, he is good, and he's a good early game tower, no, we're not going to be spamming a bunch of 1 or 2-0 engineers for the late game, even if we get something like overclock or something. it's just not worth it in most situations. So we're not going to do that stuff. We're just going to go with the good towers. We know what a lot of the good towers are. Helicopters, specters, sometimes super monkeys, maybe a little bit of balloon chipper action. But overall, that's kind of the way we're going to do things. So we've been doing some funky action right here. I don't know if you guys can tell. Whoa! The helicopter's barely surviving on round 49. So we're probably going to have to get some more stuffs up in here. I know we got a balloon chipper. That guy's going to stop a lot of those big balloons like the BFBs and everything. But we still do have to be a little bit careful. So we've got our 1 4th tier banana farm. We're going for our 2nd 4th tier banana farm, but we've got a Spectre and a helicopter trying to come into action here. So let's see if these guys can take them all down. Honestly, the hardest level for us is usually 54. If something's going to kill us, it's probably going to be 40, 43, 49, or 54. After that, things get pretty darn easy. Nothing is crazy, because honestly, usually it's like, oh, there starts to get more and more Moabs coming out after that point instead of more and more ceramics. So, those Moabs just turning into a BFB, who cares at this point? Who cares about BFBs? We don't care about those. We care about billions of Moabs coming out, you know? Even round 63, by that point, I usually have enough defense to stop these guys. I know a lot of people were telling me, spam the ground zero, Chris, you can do it. Not for me, man. I don't need the ground zero. Helicopter and Spectre. I mean, check it out. 2 helicopters and a Spectre. We annihilated those guys before they even got past that little first area right there. So as you can tell, once we get past a certain round, like maybe 54, 55, something like that, we can start farming even crazier. We can get as many as we want, and this is the part where I'm like, hey, we're past medium levels. Is this going to get difficult? No. No, it's as easy as that. Now, if you didn't have any farms, or you sold all of your farms to go for something like a 4-2 helicopter, then it might be a little bit tricky for you. Then I could definitely say, hey, you might end up losing. But overall, not really. As long as you know the right towers to build, which again are usually group popping power towers, Spectres, helicopters, super monkeys, sometimes big ones, and some other guys like that, you'll do just fine. But if you start spamming like a bunch of just robo-plasmas and you don't have that many farms going on, you're probably going to end up losing. Yeah, I mean, if you don't pick your right towers, you're totally going to lose. So anyways, as far as hard mode is concerned, you guys have probably figured this out by now, but I'm going to be doing post-commentaries on every single one. I hope you guys don't mind. I just don't feel like commentating for like a full 20 minutes. I need my full attention, basically, on the game. I need to think, I need to strategize, and if I'm talking, I can't strategize as well. So I want to make good, well thought out walkthrough / strategies for you guys, so I'm going to show you guys doing this. Also, one other thing is we may not be doing every single one no lives lost. Of course, we will try, but if we don't get no lives lost, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it, it's okay, we still won. Obviously, when we move on to Unpoppable, we'll have to use the more specialized specialty building, and then it'll be more important. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Obviously, if you enjoyed, press the like button, and have a super duper delicious day.